Today, I'm going to show you what to look for personnel-wise when building an air raid team. Quick disclaimer, I don't play Dynasty. I play Ultimate Team, so I'm not as knowledgeable about the different archetypes you can recruit, but what I can do is offer you knowledge about key stats to look for when finding players to fit within this system, as well as key abilities to look for. Before we can talk about recruiting, let's talk about the positions in this offense. This formation is gun spread Y flex, also known as gun ace. Wide receiver number 1 on the depth chart is X. Wide receiver number 2 on the depth chart is our Z. Wide receiver number 3 is our H. Tight end number 1 is our Y. And our running back number 1 is our F. First, let's start with potentially the easiest position to recruit, offensive lineman. So I'm gonna keep it blunt with you guys. Find the best 5 linemen you can get with the best pass blocking stats and go on about your day. In this system, you're probably going to be passing the ball about 70 to 80% of the game. So ask yourself these 4 questions. What's their strength? What's their pass blocking rating? What's the pass block power? And what's the pass block finesse? If those 4 stats are good, they can play for you. Bonus points if they happen to also have good run blocking stats, we will take that. If they also happen to get the abilities quick drop or screen enforcer, those are also great abilities to have. We will take that. But at the end of the day, regardless of their archetype, these linemen will play the exact same way. They're still going to get glitched out by the Texas 4-man stunt out of single mug and double mug. So pick the best pass blocking lineman you can find and keep it moving. Next position is the quarterback, and he will be the most important player you recruit. Now, if you're wanting to incorporate more run game or more option game into this system, say you're using USC's playbook and you're wanting to use more GT counter read option type of plays, then you should target a quarterback who has some good speed. But typically, if you're wanting to run a traditional air raid offense, the best type of quarterback to go for is a pocket passer. If he has good speed as a pocket passer, that's a bonus. We'll take it. He doesn't even have to have the highest throwing power, but what he does need is very good accuracy. Short and medium accuracy is a top priority when looking for a quarterback to fit in the air raid system. If your quarterback also has really good deep accuracy, that's a nice bonus, but in this offense, you really don't throw the ball beyond 20 yards very often. So that's why having good short and medium accuracy is a top priority for me. The 2 abilities I feel like you really need on your quarterback to take this offense to the next level are dot and on time. Dot increases your accuracy when throwing the ball to open receivers while standing in the pocket, and on time increases your accuracy when throwing the ball with anticipation, which is something you're going to be doing a lot in this offense. So the combination of those 2 abilities, even at the bronze level, make a big difference. And those are the 2 abilities that I currently run on my quarterback. Step Up, Magician, and Extender are also nice abilities to have, but they are not necessary in my opinion. Next, let's talk about the receivers. Your X receiver is number 1 on the depth chart, and he's going to be your fastest wide receiver. He needs to be great in space because he will catch a good amount of your wide receiver quick screens, and he also needs to be fast enough to be a deep threat, so good deep route running is recommended. He needs to have great catching and catch in traffic stats, especially since he'll be catching post curls from Y cross, and you want him to hold onto the ball in traffic. Next is the Z receiver, who is number 2 on the depth chart. He's going to be kind of similar to your X, but instead of prioritizing speed for this position, you're going to prioritize height. He doesn't need to be the fastest receiver, but he needs to have solid short, medium, and deep route running across the board. Great catching and great catch in traffic is also a big plus. Y is going to be your tight end. He's going to be your big body physical tight end / wide receiver. He needs to have great catching and catch in traffic, as he'll be catching the ball over the field a lot more often. Deep route running is not as important for the Y, but he needs to have really good short and medium route running, because he's going to be running a lot of hitches, slants, drags, crossers, and he needs good medium route running to run great corner routes. Same thing goes for the H receiver. He needs to have great short and medium route running, as well as great catching and catch in traffic, since he'll be catching the ball over the middle of the field more often. The difference between your H and your Y is that while the Y is a big body physical tight end / wide receiver, your H is more of like your smaller scat back type of wide receiver. Think of Wes Welker, someone who's smaller and great in space. The way I like to think about the H receiver is that if I'm okay with removing him from the slot and putting him in the backfield as the second running back, then he'll make a great H wide receiver. A quick recap. Your X is all about speed. Your Z is more of a possession type of wide receiver. Maybe not the fastest, but good height, great reliable hands, and great route running. Your Y, or your tight end, is physical. He can either be a vertical threat or a possession type of tight end. As long as he has good speed, can catch the ball in traffic, and great short and medium route running, he can play for you. Your H is your scat back. Probably under 6 foot, but he's shifty and he can move. Ability wise, I am a huge fan of sure hands. I highly value possessions and keeping the chains moving. I want all of my receivers to be able to catch the ball and hold on to it in traffic. The more sure hands you have on the field, the less likely your drives will stall out due to drop passes. Some other abilities that are nice to have are Press Pro, Takeoff on your X and your Z, and Cutter on your Y and your H. But if I could only have one ability, I would take sure hands over everything else. Last position we're going to cover is the running back, also known as the F. F stands for feature back because he is your do-it-all player. Out of all 5 of these receiving threats, he's probably going to touch the ball the most. He needs to be able to run in between the tackles. He needs to be good enough to make people miss in space. He needs to have great receiving stats, and he also needs to be able to block. That's a lot to ask out of one position. I watched a 50-minute video of Hal Mummy back in the day talking about air raid, and he mentioned that the hardest position for him to recruit was not the quarterback, it wasn't the receivers, and it wasn't the linemen. It was the running back, because this guy had to be able to do everything. So you, as the recruiter for your dynasty, are probably going to spend the most time looking for your perfect feature back. He needs to be fast, elusive, and be able to make people miss. He also needs to have decent catching stats. Bare minimum, probably around 75. If you go lower than that, you'll start to experience your running back occasionally dropping wide open passes in the flats. It can be difficult to find a running back with solid pass blocking stats, so if you can find someone who has stats that's not a 40, take it. Some great abilities to have on your running back are workhorse, shifty, sidestep, 360 spin cycle, and safety valve. I'd recommend starting your search with the East-West Playmaker archetype and go from there. And to show you that I actually use what I'm teaching you, this is my ultimate team. If you notice in this corner, I have 50 out of 50 for air raid chemistry on offense. That means everyone on my offense whose air raid chemistry is getting a +1 boost to specific stats, but most importantly, they're getting +1 speed. For example, if we look at my starting running back, Freddie Brock, this green 87 actually has a +1 next to it, which means that because he's air raid chem and I have maxed out air raid chemistry, he's actually 88 speed. I got lucky and he happens to also be an East-West playmaker, and he feels really shifty when I use him. He has 75 catching, which is serviceable, and he's a great air raid back on my team. Abilities in Ultimate Team are very limited. You only have a certain amount of points you can use. So for my running back, I gave him Bronze Shifty. My quarterback is Cade Klubnik. He's not air raid chem, but because of another strategy item that I have, his short accuracy is being boosted up to 85. His medium accuracy is 86, deep accuracy is 84, with a throwing power of 89, and a decent enough speed at 82. He's a pocket passer, so I gave him bronze dot and bronze on time. Wide receiver 1 on the depth chart, my ex-receiver Deuce Robinson, has 90 speed, 91 catching, 88 short route running, 85 medium, and only 82 deep, but the fact that he's 6'6" makes up for this 82 deep route running. He's still a monster deep threat, and he's my fastest wide receiver, which is why he is my X. Wide receiver number 2 on the depth chart has 86 speed, 81 catching, which is kinda but he has 88 short route running and 86 for both medium and deep route running, which is very solid for a Z wide receiver. The third receiver on my depth chart is Golden Tate with 89 speed, 87 catching, 89 short route running, 88 medium route running, and 85 deep route running. He feels very shifty in the open field, and he's only about 5'10", so he really feels like that scat back Wes Welker type of wide receiver. Because he catches the ball over the middle of the field more often, I gave him bronze sure hands. And lastly, the tight end, or my Y, is Eli Stowers with 86 speed, 89 catching, 86 short route running, and 89 medium route running. He's about 6'4", 6'5", and he's reliable because I also gave him bronze sure hands. Fullback doesn't exist. Linemen are linemen. I hope this helps give you a better idea of what to look for when building an air raid team. Be sure to join and become a member if you want to have access to more advanced offensive tools, as well as a 3-3-5 tight defensive system you can use to get more stops and win more games. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you'd like to see more content from me, and I will see you in the next video.